Narada Bhakti Sutra, a praising person's devotional thread, is 84 verses on love by and for the divine. I have found reference to 3 different traditions on how to divide these. One has it divided into 3 chapters, one has it divided into 5, and one has it divided into 9. So I will probably do 9 programs after this introduction. Devotional connecting is said to be the best way of perfecting. This text is possibly best known through the disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, but it wasn't published in a purist way. So some people are going to be like, yeah, the books with comments are finished by translations and stuff of his disciples. We're not going to include those in our canon. Some stuff obviously was compiled from what he taught, but it is apparent that Satsvarupa Dasa Goswami was somebody who filled in the blanks of some of that commentary. People speak of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada as he did so much spreading Hinduism, or Vaishnavism really is a proper term for it, in the West. Well, he did a lot in Calcutta and stuff too. Of course, he was more of a guest when he returned back home. You know, he continued the work of Gaudiya Matha, and I don't think I've ever held a copy of Back to Godhead magazine, but that's where he started, and he eventually made his way towards translations and other books. And some books, of course, are connected to the translation. Now, there's a lot of texts that are brought up. The Adi Purana, Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Brahma Samhita, Brahman Naradiya Purana, Chaitanya, Bhagavata Chaitanya, Chandrodaya, Nataka, Chaitanya, Chartamrita, Chaitanya, Manjusha, Haribhakti, Sudadaya, Haribhakti, Vilasa, Isapanishad, Katyayana Samhita, Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. That'd be Krishna book, right? Lalita, Madhava, or maybe that's the text in itself. Mahabharata, Mukunda Mala Stotra, Narada Bhakti Sutra, Narada Pancharatra, The Nectar of Devotion, Padma Purana, Path of Perfection, Rigveda, Shastaka, Skanda Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, Svetasvatara Upanishad, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Upadesamrita, Vedanta Sutra, Vedagda Madhava. So a couple of these are obviously texts by Prabhupada. And it's important to consider not who the teacher is, but what their sources are. So we can say that the work of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness is not a totally new thing. Because you always get suspicious about, oh, some modern person came in and tried to work out his philosophy and stuff, and maybe they don't even know all the science that's available at their time, so they say things that are generally perceived to be true that aren't true. People look at Aleister Crowley. Prabhupada wasn't such an individual. He didn't, it wasn't, my personality, this is what I'm bringing about. He wanted to spread the old-fashioned ways of education, for one. And so he divided this text: the value of devotion, defining bhakti, means of achievement, pure mixed devotion, attaining perfection. And, some of the verses are very short, and we'll obviously get into more my comment than anything else. We can have this idea of scripture that some things are restorations and some things are supplements to previous things. Certainly the best known scripture in India is the Bhagavad Gita, or from India, and the Srimad Bhagavatam is the best known of the Puranas. Of course, the Bhagavad Gita is a later edition in a chapter 8 or something like that, or 8 of a wider section or something of the Mahabharata. Of course, you could say that the Mahabharata was where Hindu religion started, just like the books of Maccabees can be said to be where Judaism started from, and the Bhagavad Gita was its more purely spiritual portion. Gopi Puranadana Dasa Adhikare was called to translate, along with Satsvarupa Dasa Goswami, and they included a picture of Radha Krishna that was treated almost like an ISKCON membership card, because members had that specific photo on their altars. Well, copies of that illustration. One of the things this text does is it stands against the atheist or atheistic way of looking at things, mere philosophy. Like, the Bible actually condemns philosophy of anybody except the founders of Christianity. Vedic faith isn't so far with that, but it does say to step away from speculation, from quoting people merely. Like, I see these videos where these people quote songs and stuff at preachers, like their scripture, or they quote, or people quote philosophers. I've witnessed a lot. Well, I've witnessed both towards me, and one of the reasons why Prabhupada didn't finish some of this stuff is because a lot of the issues were already covered elsewhere, and he wanted to use the most efficient use of his time. So the Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya text, the book about the Chaitanya texts, an important thing to look at is that if enthusiasm diminishes, you might want to reject the idea that, hey, I'm not having fun, I'm not having all my wishes fulfilled immediately. You surrender that too. There's a difference when people with devotion are the ones who interpret things. And our seriousness in devotion is such that it can fulfill the lacking in our mental and physical development, our results. Our attachment, our feelings, our emotions in regards to being on divinity's side is not something that is supposed to be, impersonal. Certainly, it's beyond reference to personhood, but it's made personal.